Hi guys, it's Olga. Welcome to another meal prepping video. I love doing these videos. They're one of my favorites to share. I've been sharing recipes on Olga's Flavor Factory since 2012, and recipes are definitely the foundation of what I do, but I also love sharing kitchen tips, and meal prepping makes such a huge difference for me in my life. Makes my life so much smoother, less stressful. So I want to pass it on to you because I know if you try it, it'll make a huge difference for you too. Before I get started, I wanted to walk you through the recipes that I'll be cooking this week and what we'll be prepping. One of the days we'll be eating beef fajitas, so I'm gonna marinate a flank steak, put that in my fridge, and it'll be ready to go on the grill. Then I'm also going to have fish patties, or rybne kotlety in Russian. So I'm gonna prep those, and I'm not gonna cook them today. I'm just going to prep it, put it in my fridge also, and I'm gonna make those tomorrow. I'm gonna serve mashed potatoes and coleslaw to go along with the fish patties. Mashed potatoes are easy, I'm not gonna prep those, but coleslaw, I'm gonna chop up the vegetables. Another recipe is gonna be tomato and veggie ragu. It's a really flavorful tomato sauce that's full of vegetables and nutrients. So I'm gonna make a big batch of it. We're gonna have some with pasta, and then some of it I'm gonna freeze for another day. I'm gonna be making one of our favorite meals, which is potato and bacon pie. I'm gonna make the pie dough today and prep some of the other ingredients to go with that. And I'm gonna be making 2 soups at least. We eat soup all the time in our family. So I'm gonna do 2 soups, probably chicken noodle or some kind of chicken soup, and then also a cabbage soup. I'm prepping for about a week's worth of meals, and I already have a few things started. I washed all of the vegetables, and then I also have a pot of chicken broth that's cooking away on the stove, bubbling slowly and making my house smell so delicious. And then I also put oatmeal into my Instant Pot. I recently shared this video, so you can check out the recipe on how to do it. It's super easy. So I'm gonna have oatmeal ready to go in my fridge, and it reheats in just a few minutes on the stove, so that'll be super easy for me to make for my kids in the mornings. Besides dinners, I'm also gonna prep some things for lunch and for breakfast. Like I said, I'm making the oatmeal, and then I'm also gonna make some yogurt later on tonight. Then I'm also gonna roast some chicken breast, get that in the oven, and I can have that for lunch. I can give that to my kids for lunch, and then make lots of other things with it. Cooked chicken can be used so many different ways. I've got the chicken breast in the oven, so that's roasting. And I'm gonna start by putting these vegetables in the food processor for the tomato ragu. I'm gonna use my food processor a lot today. It's gonna make the prep work even easier and faster. And especially when I'm meal prepping a lot, it's really great because I can get so much done and I can do so many different things in the food processor. It's definitely one of my favorite appliances. It's so useful, especially if you cook a lot from scratch. So I have 1 onion in here, a carrot and a celery, and I just cut them up really coarsely because you don't want to be putting like a whole onion in the food processor, of course. It's gonna make the vegetables break down more evenly and have a more uniform texture. So I'm gonna put that in. This is for the tomato and veggie ragu. And we're just gonna pulse it a few times until it has a uniform consistency. And I want it to be pretty small. So I'll show you what I mean when I'm done with it. Nice. Okay, awesome. That looks perfect. I put the vegetables in a big pot. It's kind of like a Dutch oven. And I'm gonna saute them until they get nice and soft and caramelized. And then I'm gonna add a couple more ingredients. So mushrooms and zucchini. I'm gonna put the mushrooms through the food processor to get them nice and small, and we're gonna add them in when those first vegetables get soft. And then the zucchini we're gonna shred. Most food processors come with certain attachments, like this one. It's a grater and a slicer. So I'm gonna use both of these for prepping too. It's gonna make things much easier. But of course you can use a box grater too. So I'm going to grate the zucchini, and that's all the prep that we're gonna do for the tomato ragu. We're gonna add that in last because zucchini cooks the fastest. And then we're gonna add the tomatoes after that. I'm ready to marinate the flank steak. I'm gonna add some olive oil, lime juice, some spices, coriander, paprika, dill seeds, salt and pepper, and garlic. If I marinate meat more than 2 days in advance, then I just put it in the freezer. I also sliced the bell peppers. We're gonna put those on the grill along with the steak and serve those with the beef fajitas. Time to make some fish patties, and a food processor is the best tool to use for making fish patties. It breaks down the fish perfectly, not too small, not too large. It's much better than using like a meat grinder. So I'm using cod. For this recipe, you can use any kind of fish, any kind that you like. They all work for this recipe, even salmon or haddock, snapper, trout, whatever you like, they all work for here. Make sure to do it in pulses because you don't want it to be too pureed. You still want it to have some texture. I scraped out the bowl as clean as I could, but I didn't wash it because I'm gonna put the vegetables in here to process, and they're gonna go in the fish anyway, so why have an extra step of washing, right? I chopped them up very coarsely, just the onion and the celery, and we're gonna process them as well. Okay, that looks good. And now we're going to saute this on a skillet until the vegetables get nice and soft. While the vegetables were sauteing, I sliced up some carrots, celery, and onions to use for other recipes throughout the week. And then I prepped the rest of the ingredients to go in the fish patties. You need to wait for the vegetables to cool off a bit before you add them to the fish. I strained the chicken broth, and part of it I'm going to put in my refrigerator and use it in several different recipes this week. And the rest of it, since I made a big batch, I'm going to put in the freezer. We were getting low anyway, so I wanted to make a big batch this time to replenish my freezer. I mixed up all the ingredients and covered it up, put it in my fridge, and then tomorrow I'm going to cook up the fish patties. I never prep fish more than a day in advance, but since it's already seasoned and salted, it's gonna be just fine in the fridge, and tomorrow it's gonna be so easy to cook them up. I love making pie dough in the food processor because it's so easy, but also because I'm not over handling it with my warm hands. The butter stays nice and cold, and that means we'll get a nice tender and flaky pie dough. Okay, we're almost done. I'm slicing up some mushrooms. I'm gonna saute the mushrooms and we're gonna have them with the beef fajitas along with the peppers and onions that we're gonna grill. I'm slicing extra mushrooms because I wanna have some left over after we have the beef fajitas so I can add them to omelets. And I'll probably have some of those peppers and onions left over too, so that's gonna be super easy for me to have a delicious meal in the middle of the week. I don't usually make omelets for myself unless just with some herbs and cheese or something. But whenever we have leftovers of things I can add, like peppers, tomatoes, spinach, I'll add those into my omelet. I put a paper towel on the bottom of the bowl and I'm gonna put another towel on top, and this helps to absorb any excess moisture because mushrooms, if there's moisture, they get wilted and soft really fast. This way they'll stay fresh for a long time, at least a week, sometimes even 2 weeks. That's it for today. I've got myself and my family set up for at least a week of delicious meals. Usually it's more than that because we have leftovers too. Most of the things that I prepped are for dinners, but I also have some breakfast, lunch, and snack options here too. And all of this is really gonna make my life easier because I'm not gonna have to cook every single thing from scratch. Half of the work is already done because chopping takes the most amount of time. I'm gonna put all of this away and I think I better start planning some fun things to do next week because I just saved myself a whole lot of time. enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And it also is a way to let me know what type of videos you enjoy and would like more of in the future. If you don't want to miss any new videos that I share, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's totally free and you'll be notified anytime I publish a new video.